Yes, I gotta get an intro. After so many years.
What are you scoring?
Ow! I just kicked myself. Okay, we did triangle yesterday. Triangle is base times height divided by 2. Now, parallelogram is very similar to a rectangle. Parallelogram is very similar to a rectangle, except, does anybody know why it's not a rectangle? Yes.
Because the lines are parallel.
Well, rectangle have parallel lines. That's a good thing. But why is a parallelogram not a rectangle? They all have parallel lines, so that's not it. What else? What makes a parallelogram not a rectangle? What do you mean? Okay. Juan? No. What were you saying? The angles, kids, the angles. No right angles. So these do not have right angles. They're kind of like squished, like a diamond type of thing. So a rectangle must have 4 90-degree angles. A parallelogram does not. It's all in the angles. All right, so guess how I find the perimeter? Yes, it is the distance. Just like always, the distance around the shape. Okay, how do I find the area of a parallelogram? Base times height. And your height is usually inside the figure. It's never one of these slanted lines because it's slanted and we can't use it as our height. This would be your base, but your height will come inside.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like your example. Do you see how the 3 is inside? Okay, because it has to be a straight line that makes a 90-degree angle, and these lines don't make a 90-degree angle. So area is equal to 7 times 3. What is 7 times 3? 21 is equal to the area. David, do you have your notebook ready? Are you writing this down?
I'm trying to fit a paper.
Where did you glue it in? All right. Let's practice triangle before we move on to trapezoid. So I'm going to give you some examples. On today's date is 8/23/22. I remind you, you are in the Spider Lab cohort, which means we're going to go faster, which means you have to keep up with the material. That includes homework, that includes do nows, that includes classwork and everything. If that is going to be too much for you, please let us know, okay? If you are unable to keep up with the homework, the material, please let us know, because it's gonna go faster. It's gonna go faster. All right, triangles. Okay, so area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, right? And there's different types of triangles. So there's this right triangle. Does anybody know why we call it a right triangle?
Oh, because it's right angle.
Very good, because it has a right angle, and we like that. That makes us happy. The reason it makes us happy is because the numbers are there. If this is 8 inches and this is 5 inches, so this would be your base, and this is your height. So your height is 5 and your base is 8. Okay, so now where's Miss Lamelli writing? Miss Lamelli's writing in her notebook. So what are you expected to do? Write in your notebook. Exactly, right? You're copying it all down. David, can you write this down? There you go. All right, so what's our base? 8 times, what's our height? 5 divided by 2. So your area is equal to, what's 8 times 5?
40.
40 divided by 2.
20.
So our area is equal to 20 inches squared. All right, we okay? So that's one type of triangle, the right triangle. I like the right triangle because it shows you your base and your height clearly on your triangle. There's no, hidden numbers. Then you'll have a triangle that looks like a Christmas tree. Here is my triangle that looks like a Christmas tree. Sometimes called an equilateral or an isosceles triangle. All right, so here we're going to say that the base is 6 inches and the height is 3 inches. Now, so that's a 3. Let's try to make it clearer. So you see the height is inside. Why is the height inside? Because we need this 90-degree angle. These two sides of a triangle, they're slanted. You know, have they ever measured your height at the doctor's office or even here in the classroom, right? The first thing they ask you to do is to stand up straight, right? So if you stand slanted, are you going to get an accurate measurement?
No.
No, so that's why we don't use these two lines. They might label it. Let's pretend they say, oh, this is 5 and this is 5. Cool, do we need these 5s? No, they're there to trick you. Well, they're there for perimeter, but not for area. So they're useless for our purposes. Area is equal to, so what's your base? 6 times, what's your height? 3 divided by 2. So what's 6 times 3? 18 divided by 2. 9 inches squared. Easy enough?
Yeah.
Should be review. Did I ask you if you learned trapezoid?
No, we didn't.
You have not. Well.
I feel like the farthest we got was the parallelogram.
Oh, okay. And parallelogram is just like a rectangle.
You have to like cut it again or something like
No, just base times height. You just have to identify which one's your base, which one's your height, because they'll give you this number, which is just there to trick you for your parallelogram. All right, now, do you guys know what an obtuse angle is?
that. Yeah. Oh, yes. An angle bigger than 90 degrees.
Yay! So let's draw an obtuse angle. There's my obtuse angle, all right? More than 90. And then I'm going to close it up to make it into a triangle. All right. So this will be your base. Your base is like the flat surface that's like, you know, provides a stable, like your feet, a stable surface for you to stand on. This provides a stable surface for my triangle to stand on. So I'm going to say that my base is equal to 10 centimeters. Now, is this line my height? Nope. Is this line my height? No, because it's not 90 degrees. So when you have an obtuse triangle, your height is actually outside. So your height will be out here. And then you'll see a bunch of dotted lines, like so. And then you'll see the 90 degrees, okay? This will be your height. So let's call your height, 9
centimeters.
I like 9 centimeters. You read my mind. So your base is 10, but your height, which is outside, is going to be 9. Now, they might change, they might give you these two numbers to trick you. Don't be tricked. Don't be tricked. All right, so area is equal to 10 times 9 divided by 2. What's 10 times 9?
90.
Can you silence that? Like, you guys?
Notification doesn't even sound like that, so I thought it was something else's.
Well, is it yours or not?
Oh, it is.
What's 90 divided by 2?
45.
Very good. Area is equal to 45 centimeters squared. Those are your typical 3 different triangles that you'll see on like work, classwork, and whatnot. You'll see these 3.
Is there an acute one?
This would be your acute one. Kevin appreciates your comment. So you'll see your right triangle. This is an acute triangle, and then this is an obtuse triangle. I'll officially teach that like towards the end of the school year, but if you know, you know. It's a great question. I'm so glad you asked.
I literally asked that.
This would be your acute triangle. Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes. Oh, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. Oh my God, I can feel it already. Oh God. Okay. Has anybody earned any scotches this year?
Oh, yeah.
But I get away from my gender.
I kinda. It's because Mr. Moore's my summer. I think he doesn't have raffle tickets. He only has scotches.
Oh, is that a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. I have a bunch of raffle tickets.
Alright. I don't know if they're going to do a raffle this Friday or not. Alright. Look at, okay, so on a worksheet, the front side is considered, when it's hole punch, the front side, the holes are on the left. That's what you identify as the front side. Because when you put this in your binder, you know, the holes would be here, right? So this is the front side. If you don't know, it's also, find the triangle that's 8 by 8. That's the front side. So, many ways. All right, so we'll do the first couple together, and then you're on your own. Practice before we move on to trapezoid, which is so much harder. All right, so this triangle is upside down. You know, it's supposed to be like this, but it's fine. So what's your base? 8. What's your height? 8. Could you really have gone wrong with those two answers? No. Okay, so area, this is what I need to see. Area is equal to 8 times 8 divided by 2. So you're going to tell me how you plugged in your numbers. Oh, I plugged them in like 8 times 8, Miss Amelie. Fantastic. Divide by 2. What's 8 times 8? 64 divided by 2. Let me check one thing. Is there such a thing? No, there's no 6.2. Oh no, it's bigger than your chart. Anyway, so 32. 32 yards squared. All right, number 2. What two numbers do I multiply for number 2? 6 times 5 divided by 2. With triangles, we divide by 2. What's 6 times 5? 30 divided by 2? 15 feet squared. So easy. All right, number 3. What two numbers do I do?
8 and 10.
10 and 8 divided by 2. What's 10 times 8?
80.
80 divided by 2?
40.
So my area is 40 inches squared. Are there any questions? No? Can't, yeah. 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 No work, no credit. You saw that on your homework, right? Yeah. If you don't show me work, hey, I'm showing work. I can do this in my head, but I'm not. You can show your work. Always show your work, please. Great question. All right, let me give you guys a couple minutes to continue working. If you need your multiplication table from your agenda, it's on page 77. You can always have that out and reference it. I'd rather you reference it than get stuck. All right? Rather you go back and go, oh, what's 24 divided by 2, for example. All right. So area of a trapezoid, so the second part. So I should see you back in your notebook. I'm not working on the triangle worksheet. All right. So a trapezoid looks like the Pizza Hut logo. You have two parallel lines. But they're not the same size. So the top and bottom are parallel, but they're not the same size. And then the sides are not parallel. Meaning if I put this pen here at this angle and this pen at this angle on this side, they will cross if I continue drawing them. So these are called, they're not parallel, okay? I didn't count the boxes, I just drew them. So can you join us, please? So what are we doing right now? We gotta switch over. All right, so this is called your base 1. So we're used to just a base, but since the top and the bottom are different sizes, we will have 2 bases. So you'll write down the letter B and then a little tiny 1. It's the opposite of an exponent. It goes at the bottom. Base 1, and then on the top, it's called a base 2. Since they're different sizes, we have 2 different bases, base 1 and base 2. Now, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't really matter which one you call base 1 and which one you call base 2. You can swap these. the bases are fine. But they have to be the parallel lines. You can't be using these as your bases because they're not parallel. All right, and then the next piece of information that we need from a trapezoid is your height, which is usually inside because we need that 90-degree angle. So these are the 3 pieces of information that we need for a trapezoid. Your base 1, your base 2, and then your height. Height is usually inside. This is your traditional trapezoid. Looks like the Pizza Hut logo. So did you remember this at all from last year or not? Yeah?
No one, yes.
Huh? You're remembering? It's coming back to you. I like it, like a nightmare. Or there's also a trapezoid that looks like this. I call it like the Homer Simpson shoe. Because it reminds me of Bart or Homer's shoe if you're a Simpsons fan. It's not like a shoe. It looks like Homer Simpson's shoe. Okay? These 2 are parallel. And then these 2 are not parallel. They will cross. But this actually creates a 90-degree angle, so that makes us happy. Which means if this creates a 90-degree angle, this now you can identify it as your height. You're happy because it's a 90-degree angle. We like 90-degree angles. So this could be your base 1 or your base 2. They can be swapped. The only thing that can't be swapped is your height. Your height is particular. It has to be forming that 90-degree angle. Other than that, your bases can be switched. And then this is just extra. All right? It's just extra. Does anybody remember the formula to find the area of a trapezoid?
No.
It's one of my favorites. Oh, no, I know. I'm just asking if you know. Okay, here we go. Area is equal to
Base 1 times base 2 times height.
Base 1 plus base 2.
Oh, because
Height
I'm missing one thing.
divided by
divided by 2.
So, yay. Together we did it. Base 1 plus base 2 in parentheses. What does parentheses mean?
you have to multiply that or add or subtract that first.
Yeah, you got to do that first, right? So when you see parentheses, you got to do that first. So I see parentheses here, so I got to do that first before I do anything else. And then you're going to multiply it by your height divided by 2. So it's very similar to a triangle. A triangle is base times height. But a trapezoid has 2 bases, so I have to add my 2 bases, multiply by height, and then divide by 2. Okay? It looks hard, it looks complicated, but it's really not, says the math teacher. Alright, so let's draw a trapezoid, and we'll plug in some numbers to this one. So just draw one line longer than the other. Don't count my boxes, just make one line longer. Then connect, and connect. And we're going to go with the base on top is 4 feet. Base on the bottom is 8 feet. And then your height, which is going to be inside, is going to be 5 feet. So bases are 4 and 8, and your height is 5. All right, so first thing you have to do, step number 1, is to plug in the numbers, okay? You have to plug in your numbers. So which one's your base 1?
Either one.
Either one. I'm going to go with 8. Base 1. Which number, therefore, is your base 2?
4.
4. So this one's base 2. And then which one's your height? can't use numbers twice, so that's my height. So now that you have identified them, now we plug them in. What do we plug them into? Our formula.
So area equals
Parentheses.
8 plus 4 and then end the parentheses times 5 divided by 2.
Good. Will you get a wrong answer if you plug them in incorrectly? Yeah. If you put the 5 inside, the whole thing will be wrong. Can I switch the 8 and the 4?
Yeah.
Can I go 4 plus 8? Yeah. What's inside the parentheses you can move, but you can't move the 5 inside. The 5 has to be outside. There's no way. None. All right, so parentheses says I have to do it first. So 8 plus 4? 12 times 5 divided by 2. Now, you can do 12 times 5 and then divide by 2, yes? Or you can do my shortcut. Take one of these two numbers and divide by 2.
60. No, I would divide the 12.
Yeah, you don't want to divide the 5, right? So what's 12 divided by 2? 6. What's 6 times 5? 30. We're done, right? If you do it the long way, then you would have to do 12 times 5, 60 divided by 2, 30. So area is equal to 30 feet squared. So if you can do the shortcut, it makes the math a lot easier. If you don't understand the shortcut, don't worry. The old way, 12 times 5 divided by 2, will work. We okay? All right, let's try one more. Una más. Well, we're going to practice more tomorrow. And then you'll probably have a test on Thursday. No. Let's do 6 inches, 4 inches, and let's do 10 inches. Oh, pues. So 6 inches, 10 inches, and 4 inches. This makes the perfect 90-degree angle. Boom, right there. Yeah, I mean, I write a lot bigger than you do. So whatever fits on your page, you keep it on that page. I'm very not like your 6th grade math teacher that says everything on page 4, right? Yeah, no. Just keep going in order of your pages. Use the back of your pages. Don't skip around. All right. So first thing you gotta do is plug in your numbers. So what goes inside the parentheses, what goes outside, and what number goes on the bottom. All right. Let's pass back the homework. We gotta go. Those are rings. All right, let's stop. Let's pack up. You're gonna keep it. You upload Canvas. First three on the other side. Do the extra homework, which is fine. Do the extra homework. The extra, I didn't count. Oh, what's that? Is it reading at 12 or 13? 13. 13?
I think so.
Yeah, second period is 12. All right, we still got time. We still got one more minute. We'll pack up. Make sure you put the homework in a very visible place for you to do after school. You don't want your grades to keep falling. Write in your agenda. Homework. I never did that. I remember. Right. What am I going to do? Alright, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Do your homework.